We picked up the Model X a couple days ago, and it's a great car. It's full of all this technology. The only thing is, man, for some weird reason, I'm not a big fan of the wheels. It's exacerbated by the fact that they're so noticeable. So, what I decided to do is I was going to try my hand at Plastidipping. My local hardware store has a can for $6, so I picked up a few of them. And I figure if I messed up, I could just peel it off, which is kind of the magic of Plastidip. Before you actually start the spray painting process, you want to make sure that your wheels are very, very clean. So I went, sprayed them down with some water, and I used a microfiber cloth to really get the dirt out. And then I went with a second microfiber cloth to go ahead and just make sure everything was dry. Afterwards, I used some junk mail and I just shoved it on the other side of the wheel to cover the brakes, so then that way I don't spray them. After I did that, I used some duct tape and I just kind of went around the edge of the tire to try to contain the spray. Now I was ready to do the first coat. Don't worry about getting full coverage on the first coat. You're going to go ahead and get that on the subsequent coats. Between the first, second, and third coats, I did maybe about 7 minutes in between, so then that way they can kind of dry. Afterwards, I let about 15 minutes go between applying additional coats. You'll notice here that I actually moved the Model X just a little bit because I wanted to go ahead and see parts of the rim that I was not seeing very well before. That way I can go ahead and do a more complete spray. I will say that you're going to want to keep some extra Plastidip because as you drive it around, you're going to just notice more and more things that you may have missed. By this point, the wheel was looking pretty nicely coated with the Plastidip spray. So I let it cure for about 20-25 minutes before I did anything else. Then I took the tape off the tires off, and then I very carefully bunched up the junk mail on the backside of the spokes and pulled them out. Now, in pulling them out, I suppose I didn't let it cure long enough, and I found that I scratched some of the Plastidip before it completely cured. So I just went back and I did some touch-ups. So there you have it. In all, I used about 2 cans at $6 a piece to completely coat all of the wheels a few times on the Model X.